Courtney, is this absolutely the last year for Friends?
Yes.
Sure?
I'm positive.
What are you going to do when it's over?
Cry like little babies. Cry.
Tonight on 2020 with Barbara Walters and John Stossel.
Everybody said, they're never going to make it. What do you say now? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In a town of 5-minute marriages, they wanted to be different.
And the therapist said, you guys are not ready to get married.
He had to conquer his drug problem.
I'd never shot heroin. I smoked it. Yeah, I guess this is about being honest.
She had to learn about trust.
In this town that we're in, there's a million beautiful women.
Together, they're discovering the secrets to a lasting marriage.
We can't kiss other people. We may want to, we just can't do it. No, we don't want to.
You'll hear how he deals with having an older, more successful wife.
Courtney has become so famous, made a lot of money. Is that tough?
And the intimate problem they've never shared publicly before, having a baby.
We are trying really hard.
Would you consider in vitro?
I actually have done in vitro.
Plus, an exclusive tour of their Hollywood home, where they've made his kooky toys work with her elegant taste. Barbara Walters with the Arquettes. What is their blueprint for a happy marriage? Plus, young protesters trying to rid the world of sweatshop conditions. Ever wonder what some people in those poor countries think?
They called people like you ignorant and clueless. Rich, ignorant, and clueless.
American protesters know what's best for everybody.
I'm John Stossel, and I say, give me a break.
2020 begins in a moment. And now, from Times Square Studios, Barbara Walters and John Stossel.
Good evening, and welcome to 2020. Tonight, Courteney Cox and her husband, David Arquette, in the first television interview they have ever done together. In case you've been on another planet, she stars in Friends, the #1 sitcom on the air today, and he is a bright young actor in his own right. And John, they are so frank and funny and touching with each other.
That's good news. And Courtney has been appearing in lots of magazine covers recently because Friends just started what will be its last year. So where does she go after a success like that?
Well, Courtney and David are involved in a new TV show that they'll talk about, and then they're going to share a very personal secret. These are two very charming but very different people, and it's amazing that they ever became more than friends. When Courteney Cox signed on to the sitcom Friends in 1994, she had no way of knowing that it would now be the most popular comedy on television.
You want some coffee?
If you missed the first 223 episodes of Friends, you need to know a few things.
Regular decaf.
Courtney plays Monica Geller, a chef who lives in New York City.
I bought a restaurant, and I would like you to be the head chef.
What? Oh!
She is at the center of a group of 6 young, single, and good-looking friends whose companionship is the perfect remedy to the pressures of life.
No, you're not a
Yeah. Look at me!
Everyone in the country, it seemed, fell for the sweetly neurotic Monica Geller.
We just decided that Rachel is going to be your maid of honor. Oh, that's great!
Oh, wow. Okay, we really have to start planning. I have a lot of really specific ideas. We should probably get together like 4 times a week. You can come over to my place. We'll get together before work. What do you say, 6:30, my place? So excited.
Meanwhile, a young actor named David Arquette was struggling with bit parts in a string of independent films and B-movies.
She's meat for the beast. Master wants her. And Uncle Sam wants you.
He was also a graffiti artist and the singer in a rock and roll band. 7 years ago, on the set of a movie appropriately titled Scream, David Arquette got lucky.
I know who you are, Miss Weathers.
His co-star was Courteney Cox.
I thought that he was crazy in a way, like a crazy way, like kind of aloof and wild and like a rebel.
Attracted to him?
Yeah, strangely attracted to him. Like, wow, he's just so wrong for me, but I really, really think he's cute.
First impression?
My first impression of her, I was just blown away. I mean, she was just so beautiful, and I was just like, I was like a tiger. I wanted her.
Talk about a mismatch. Courteney Cox was already an accomplished actress, known for grace and style. David was known for his flamboyant and funky outfits.
He did follow me.
He followed you?
A little bit, yeah. He followed me the night I met him, and the second I would get into my room, the phone would ring. I'm like, how, were you watching? Wackadoodle?
Yes, he was.
But David was a fun-loving, he was a player.
Maybe he liked to play a little too much. David was a heavy drug user. When the two of you met, you had a drug problem.
Mm-hmm.
Serious?
Yeah, it was.
He was never addicted to anything. He dabbled, but you're really lucky, David, that you didn't become dependent.
What drugs were you taking?
I tried most drugs,
Including heroin?
Yeah, I never shot heroin. I smoked it. I mean, I guess this is about being honest. Yeah, and I'd done other things. I had done coke and a little speed.
I'm so the opposite of that I knew that I could never be with someone who did drugs. I don't know how. It would not have worked for me. But I kept saying to him, this would never work.
Courteney had not given up on him 2 years later, when Scream 2 was released. But the couple faced another problem. David's mother was fighting a losing battle with cancer. Her death jolted him into realizing that he would lose Courteney, too, if he didn't clean up his act. Things came to a head on his mother's birthday, 2 weeks after she passed away.
I was up all night and, doing drugs, and it just hit me. I was like, what am I doing with my life? I wanted better for myself. I wanted my mom to know I was safe, even though she had already passed on. And I wanted Courteney, I knew that she wouldn't ever be with me with a drug problem, and I wanted to grow old with her.
He said to me, if you commit to me, you'll know the true man that I am. And I was like, show me the true man, and then we'll talk about it.
And you just stopped?
Just stopped.
And
but I still drink.
But you weren't terribly nervous about marrying him, thinking it might happen again, or,
I think at the beginning I thought, wow, what would I do if I came home and David was doing some drug that I didn't, I don't have any tolerance for that, because I think it would scare me so bad. I don't know that I would have been so nurturing.
Courteney had faith in David. He had stopped using drugs, but she was still cautious. You have attended preventative marriage counseling. What's that?
I think it was probably a little early for us to get engaged, to make that step. And we learned that we had a lot of things to deal with. So we went to therapy, and the therapist said, you guys are not ready to get married.
What were your issues?
We had some resentment that we had to work out, things that had happened while we weren't really committed to each other on both ends.
I had to learn a huge lesson. David had been out with a lot of women, and beautiful, beautiful women. And then I had to learn that in this town that we're in, there's a million beautiful women, and you have to just trust the person. And it was a hard lesson for me.
Next, they faced the daunting task of selling David to Courteney's family in Alabama.
He asked my father for my hand in marriage.
So sweet,
Yeah.
old-fashioned.
Yeah.
My father said, no problem, son. Congratulations, that's good. And as soon as David walks away, my father bolts into the house. He's like, we gotta tell her. Where is she?